Denver leaders are now asking serious questions after an audit revealed new information on a local nonprofit, how they're responding this morning.
A special election in Greeley leads to a new lawsuit. Why developers of the proposed entertainment project say the vote should have never happened in the first place.
And it's going to be another warmer than normal day in the metro, but those in the mountains are going to be enjoying some fresh powder on the slopes. And all those headlines and more straight ahead. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sam Shocker in for Corey Rose.
And I'm Drew Carney. Brianna's got your traffic here in just a moment. First, though, Katie delivering that Thursday forecast.
Happy Thursday, you guys.
Happy Thursday.
Yeah, tale of two sides. Once again, you saw from the cameras there, the snow has been falling in the mountains this morning. It's dry, it's sunny, but it won't be as windy for today. So I'm looking forward to telling you that we don't have a red flag warning in place for today, but we will be watching for some dry, blustery conditions throughout the end of the week. This morning, the sun is rising over Denver. Temperatures extremely mild. We're in the 40s currently. Clear skies, not nearly as windy out near Akron right now, and the snow is actively falling in spots like Copper Mountain, some fat flakes, bringing in some fresh powder. Our snow totals from this system ranged anywhere between 2 and 6 inches for a lot of our Front Range high country, and Longs Peak still lost in the cloud coverage there. So Rocky Mountain National Park getting hit with some winter weather this morning. It'll be light in terms of the additional accumulation we see for portions of the mountains. The I-70 drive heading to the tunnel. We've been watching CDOT crews all morning long, treating the roadways. Just be careful out there. You'll find a difference of two sides of the tunnel. As you can see, if you head to the mountains this morning, some moderate snow shower activity now moving over 285 Conifer down through Bailey. We've been watching that there this morning. Idaho Springs to Winter Park, Netherlands, snow showers. That will gradually taper off as we get into mid-morning and early afternoon, and it will still be breezy here in Denver. Dry, sunny, low 60s. The winds, though, will be an issue once again for tomorrow as fire danger is elevated for Friday. This morning, 40s out the door. Temperatures later on, low 60s for highs. We'll talk more about Friday's forecast. 60s, even 70s this weekend. Unseasonably warm and dry for Denver, at least, to wrap up the month of February. Brianna?
Katie, thank you so much. Taking a live look right now of I-76 near 96th Avenue. So you're seeing a lot of delays on those westbound lanes along I-76. And that's because not far from the CDOT camera, we do have a crash that's happening along 88th and I-76. So I do want to show you a closure that we're also tracking that's happening right now. So this is just after the Bailey area in Grant. So we're getting reports from Colorado Department of Transportation and Infrastructure that Highway 285 near County Road 60 is shut down because of a stalled vehicle. Now, I'm not seeing that stalled vehicle here from our CDOT cameras, but I am seeing crews block both lanes of Highway 285. So if you have to take 285, maybe head to the Bailey area, or from Bailey to the Grant area, you're going to be stuck in that closure. So just keep that in mind, especially if that's part of your morning drive. Zooming into where I just showed you that CDOT camera. So 88th Avenue at I-76 is where we're seeing that crash. And if you're leaving westbound 76, so leaving the Commerce City area, you're going to be stuck in some minor slowdowns, not only our morning rush hour traffic, but also the delays that we are seeing because of this crash. So if you are taking westbound 76, leaving Commerce City, you're looking at almost a 20-minute drive. Speed times are clocking in at 42 miles per hour.
All right, thanks, Brianna. Let's get to our news headlines this hour. Former Secretary of State and First Lady Hillary Clinton faces a House deposition later today. The Republican Oversight Committee chair says she's not accused of any wrongdoing, but the panel wants to look for information to help with its investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. Meanwhile, her husband and former President Bill Clinton also scheduled for a deposition. That's happening tomorrow. The committee chair says, again, he is not accused of any wrongdoing either, but this is the first time that a former president has been deposed by Congress.
Governor Polis has been fighting for months to comply with a civil immigration subpoena. Now he's asking a court to prevent him from doing just that. The subpoena sent to the state's Labor Department in April requests contact and employment information for 35 adults caring for unaccompanied minors in the country without lawful status. The document was signed by Homeland Security Special Agent, not a judge. Colorado laws signed by Polis restrict state and local governments from sharing personally identifying information with immigration agents. That is unless it is part of a criminal investigation or to comply with a court-issued subpoena. A state employee sued, trying to prevent that information from being shared. And in a new court filing, attorneys for Polis asked the judge to indefinitely block the governor from doing that, arguing there no longer appears to be pressing demands for the records. And a spokesperson for Polis sent us a statement reading in part, quote, "While we believe responding to the subpoena was allowed in this instance, given the timeline and lack of additional information from the federal agency, it is time to move forward."
The U.S. Supreme Court, meanwhile, refusing to let the private prison company that runs the immigration detention facility in Aurora to appeal a lawsuit. The GEO Group is fighting a lawsuit from 2014 that claims detainees in Aurora had to perform unpaid janitorial work and other jobs for little pay. GEO defended its practices and argued that the case should be tossed out because it's immune from lawsuits as a government contractor. After a judge disagreed with that, the company asked the U.S. Supreme Court to allow it to quickly appeal the ruling, but again, the justices refused.
CBI is making progress, cutting down the time it takes to process DNA collected in sexual assault cases, but the agency is still far short of its goal. That's according to a new audit from the state. The agency's rape kit backlog became an even bigger problem after the scandal surrounding Missy Woods was disclosed a couple of years ago. The former DNA analyst is facing dozens of criminal charges stemming from accusations she altered or deleted data over the course of her decades-long career. CBI had to review over 10,000 cases that she worked on. And the audit shows, as of the end of last month, the average time it takes to process rape kits is 190 days. That's a nearly 60% reduction from June. CBI's goal is to get all DNA testing done in 90 days.
A taxpayer-funded nonprofit in Denver faced tough questions from City Council after a recent report by the Auditor's Office. That audit found that Caring for Denver spent city tax dollars on things like meals and alcohol. Caring for Denver provides mental health services, suicide prevention, opioid and substance abuse prevention, and additional programs for people with mental health needs. City Council acknowledged that work that they do, but it also raised concerns about what was included in the audit.
I really appreciate you just naming the alcohol thing, especially when we're trying to, help people with substance abuse issues. I think that was a disappointing thing to see.
The amount of money that we spent was not a lot, $1,000 over 3 years. That's not justifying it. And I think we have come to the realization that no matter what the size, small matters, and the contradiction that it offers matters, and we will not be covering any alcohol going forward.
Caring for Denver says it will no longer allow alcohol to be written off as an expense, but it will still allow employees to expense food, which was a major part of this audit. The foundation disagreed with 7 of the 15 audit recommendations, which the auditor says is very rare. Caring for Denver noted there was no option to partially disagree or agree.
Developers are suing the city of Greeley after people voted to stop a major entertainment and housing development on the city's western edge. On Tuesday, voters in Greeley put a stop to the building of an Eagles ice hockey arena, a water park, hotel, and housing developments. However, it may not be over for developers. Private developers supporting this project are now suing Greeley. They are calling the special election unconstitutional and that it never should have been on the ballot. For now, Greeley's Director of Communications and Engagement says the city is still figuring out what's next.
Steps right now are really to kind of figure out what next steps are. There are a lot of different potential options in front of council. And so right now the city's job is to really evaluate what those options are.
And city leaders say about 21,000 people voted. That's about a third of the voting population. They usually expect between 5 to 30% voter turnout for special elections.